Hello, everyone.
How are
Hey,
we?
there's
Alright.
a guy is Brett wearing a Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, holiday mode.
Yeah,
I'm
Oh,
coming straight
he's
from
from
holiday.
California.
oh.
He's from California and he's joining us as a
Can you
guest
notice
tonight.
that I've got a casual hat on and I've got a bit of a tan?
You have got a tan.
I have.
What
Excellent.
happened? Oh dear.
I spent too long
All
at the
right.
beach down here in Melbourne.
Oh no,
Well, that's
you
what
can't
happens
say
when
that.
we're near the beach.
Wait, did we have sunshine?
Yes, right today.
Maybe. Maybe. Well, so everyone, welcome. Episode number 66. And we have quite a few people online already tonight. So Bruce and Shane, welcome. And
Hello.
we are tonight. So public holiday here in Melbourne, so and we are in lockdown. So double holiday, I guess.
That's right.
So,
How
again,
good is it?
very much home.
Happy grand final eve.
That's right.
Indeed. Hello, Tony. How's your finger?
I saw his finger was a bit funky.
Yeah, Tony's been scratch building and he used one of these tools and didn't go too well for him. So we'll see. Very good. So what do we have tonight?
I don't know whether he was scratch building or just trying to cut his thumb off because
It was just
I
scratching his
think he was
finger.
doing
probably.
something for the competition.
I think so. So the competition is coming very close to an end. But are we going to extend it?
I think we should. Because even
So-
us, we haven't had time to finish it.
Mine is still in the same position it was last Friday, actually in lots of parts here. So I haven't done much progress.
Mine. Actually, where is mine?
he lost it.
He's lost it.
He's run
Hello,
away.
Warwick is on the wrong side today, on the other side.
He's heckling.
Yes. Well, Warwick is going to see soon some of his new designs, but he's going to have to wait.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
So I started
Oh, look at
priming
this
in
guy.
black and just painted the skull a bit. But that's as far as I've gone. I still left the clear leg, which is a bit funky. I reckon we need to extend the comp maybe by 2 weeks, I think. What do you reckon?
I would say so. So, guys, let us know in the comments if you're working on the competition. Let us know how you're traveling. We are happy to extend it a little bit. I guess, for the benefit of everyone being able to finish it. And for those that are new to the competition, we started about 3-4 weeks ago. And the competition is a vignette competition and is involving using the Hearns Workshop products. So you use one of these little sets, and that includes a military figure and 2 luggages, a skull, and a helmet, and that's about it, really. And then you need to use as many of these components as you can to create a small vignette like the one that BJ is showing today. And it's up to you what you want to do with it. Lots of creativity, but again, we will work as all our previous competitions. So we will have a prize pool of $5 for each entrance. So if you have 10 people, there'll be $50 shared across the first 3 best pick. And what else do we have? That's it, isn't it, Vij?
That's pretty much it, I think. Yeah,
that's pretty much it. So yes. All right, so Warwick is going to serve as a YouTube moderator tonight, which is great. And Tony's finger should be usable by the time the competition is finished, or what, or by when? Very good. Cool. All right, so Brett is on holiday. Tom is in the windy valley.
Yeah, there's a storm coming in, I think.
Oh, really?
Good. So
we'll see how long it'll last.
Later on. Tom has been working on a super special Yakima.
Yeah, it's looking good.
I have indeed. This is gorgeous. So a couple of weeks ago, I showed the box for this.
Is it the new front-wheel drive?
This is the rear-wheel drive Yokohama YD2 drift chassis.
Ah, the drift chassis.
Yes.
Wow.
So this has been a really, really nice build so far. So there's still quite a bit to go on it. But it is coming together pretty quickly, actually. And yeah, look, Yokohama quality, everything just slides together. Everything fits together so nicely. So you can see the Yokohama drift servo in there. So we'll go through a video that covers the programming of the servo and the setup of it, and connecting all that to the gyro, etc. as well. But then you'll be able to see this thing in motion. So yeah, it's looking really, really good though.
Yeah, that curved rack looks pretty special.
That is very special. Yes.
So that's the slide rack steering. So instead of the old bell crank, which has sort of 3 pieces, this is basically just sort of one piece. This is going to be hard to show. Come across. Might not be able to see it in there, but the servo basically connects straight through to the curved rack.
Yep.
And then the curved rack actually just kind of slides backwards and forwards on the bearing. So you can actually see the bearings just in below the finger there.
That is cool.
And so it makes for really, really precise steering. And yeah, this should be a lot of fun.
And heaps of lock, I suppose, too, isn't it, Tommy?
What was that?
I said they do it so they can get heaps of lock, yeah?
Yeah. So it's much easier to get a greater steering angle than the traditional setups. So
That's
traditional
impressive.
setups had to have crazy camber to get the angles, and yeah, there were lots of tricks, but none of them really worked that well. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
And you were just saying before that you can also buy the alloy colored arms. Is that correct?
So there are a few upgrades from this is the SX3 version. So it does come with most of the purple alloy upgrades. But there are still a few other pieces, bits and pieces, the upper and lower arms, and just a few other little bits of trim that we will pick up for this one. So along the way. So
Well, it's looking good.
Brilliant.
but yeah.
Looking really, really good. Very good. Excellent. Good. And is there a bread box tonight? Is there going to be a bread box at some point?
Brett's box has been getting smashed all week on holidays.
It's second hand, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. There's been lots going on my holiday. I haven't probably been as at the beach as much as my the face tan would look, but yeah, I've had plenty of time at the bench.
Good. All right.
I can see your glasses shaped there.
These are goggles. Goggles.
You haven't painted
It's
that
all
on
a
it.
tan. It's a tan from being at the beach all the time.
Oh my days. So Brett moved his desk at the beach in St Kilda, isn't it? Is it St Kilda? St Kilda Beach for you? Office?
Yeah, no, somewhere a bit closer to home than that one. It's probably not quite in my 5Ks, but yeah, just down the street a bit. Up in Brighton Beach or Hampton Beach. So do you want to have a look in what's in one of Brett's boxes?
Yeah.
I think we should.
Is that what we're up to?
Yeah.
I think so. You're on a big screen now.
Oh, don't put me on the big. So this one here, it's a little bit hard for me to tip over, but in this Tix R&D box, what have I got? Can anybody tell me?
Paint.
Cricket paints.
Oh.
So in this box here, I've got a load of my essential paints and assortments because I did a little bit of painting this week. So I thought it might be a good idea to have a look in Brett's box this week and see some of the stuff that I paint with. So I need a bit of help here, BJ, because you are the man. What have I got here?
You got a hose.
I have
A braided hose.
a 9 steps braided hose, 8 to 8. Something that I didn't know I couldn't live without until I got it.
Oh, they're handy.
Oh, they must have.
Oh my Lord. I think I did that much airbrushing without one of these airbrush holders. And it's a weighted steel heavy base. And it can hold up to 4 guns, I suppose, but 2 guns for when you're working away.
Could have those 2 kinds of holders.
It's got the 2 kinds of holders. So it's got one if you're just going in between repositioning the body or your paintwork in your hand to the flat ones up here to putting your airbrush in and filling the pot, I suppose, yeah?
Yeah, more
But
secure on those top ones.
It has been fantastic. It saves it falling over, paint coming out of your pot, all sorts of things happening. So that has been that 9 steps airbrush holder. I've got some high-tech Brett stencil that I've put to use that I'll show you in a second. I've got some Tamiya masking tape.
Classic.
And it has to be said that, you know, not all masking tapes are created equally.
No,
and
that's
Tamiya definitely bring their A game, you know, when
sure.
it comes to masking tape.
Yeah, that's a market leader.
It's really good to work with, and it's really nice and easy. It's got good adhesion, and it always leaves you a really nice crisp line, even for a hack like me at best. I've got a bit more upmarket stencil here, which looks a little bit more weathered than this side. This is my Abiti Design electronic circuit stencil, and I've put that to use across a lot of my bodies of late. Bit of a theme I've had going on. The one up behind me here, and yeah. So I've got some Vallejo acrylic paints.
Yeah, it's good to use.
Which are really good to use, and you know, like for a simpleton like me, they're good to use inside because they really don't smell at all. They're water based, so
Do you need to thin them at all?
These ones not so much. I've pretty much used them straight out of the bottle, and they're all like getting old. Like, you know, like I don't do that much painting, so like a bottle here, like it's probably lasted me a year realistically for the amount that I use it. And I don't find that it's gone off at all. Just straight out of the thing, good shape, straight into the airbrush pot, and yeah, a little bit on a test paper, and away I go.
Well,
so it's really good because you don't need a paint booth inside. It doesn't stink out your house. So yeah, it makes it really nice and pleasurable to do painting. So they've got their Vallejos, metallics, some candies. Here's another one which I've put to use lately, which you'll see.
Oh, the shifties.
So that's a SMS. Then this is a color shift. Now this is definitely a lacquer-based paint. And I've had to put, because I'm using it in polycarbonate, I've used a bit of not that one. Sorry, this one.
Oh, yep.
Bit of flex additive into the paint, and that keeps it flexible, malleable, saves it flaking off the body, and yeah, I've used it with great effect in that it's long lasting, I suppose. The biggest drawback about using these is the stench.
They're pretty strong smelling.
It is very strong smelling. So luckily my little office here, my workshop, is has a good window, good ventilation, but does still stink out the house. So, but the beauty about using a lacquer-based paint, as I'm sure that BJ and Warwick and the painting guys will attest to, is that they just spray so much nicer. They're so much finer. They atomize better. You know, and in a way, with just thinners, in a way, they sort of clean up easier. The acrylic, the Vallejo paints, they get a skin inside the airbrush, so you sort of physically have to wash it under cold water, and you sort of get that little bit of skin off and can gum up the airbrush a little bit. Whereas the lacquer-based paints, you just put some thinners in the pot, squeeze it through, and away it goes. So there's pros and cons to each. So a couple of bodies, and then I've got a few of these. Can we see here? A few rattle cans.
Classic.
Must have.
So, you know, I've got the rudimentary, you know, white, black, fluoros. So I use that for all the major work, I suppose, or all the panel work, and also a bit of smoke for the tinted windows. Yeah, so I've put that to good use this week. I suppose the star of the show. Look out while I crash the floor.
Drop it.
it's definitely not me, but our little 9 steps premium 0.2 airbrush. Now, this for me, I think the good thing is not the fact that I've used it once or painted one body, but I've probably painted about 6 or 10 bodies with this now, and it's worked really well and really consistently all through. I mean, I'm not very demanding as a painter. You know, my skill and talent just doesn't allow it, but for what I ask of it, it does really good. Yeah, and I'm really happy with it. So
did you spray the cosmic color with the 0.2 airbrush?
Yeah. So everything, I put everything down with the 0.2 airbrush on the body that I did, other than obviously the rattle can stuff. And here's some of them. These are for a customer and a good friend. His name's Emmanuel, and this is an 8 scale buggy body. And I did up 2 for him. I did up one nitro and 1 electric, and that's a Biddy Design Vision bodies to suit the hot bodies D819RS and E819RS. And his only sort of prerequisites were he would like pink, yellow, and black.
Cool. So you got the carbon effect. You got the fire effect.
Myself just to paint black on it. So I've used the black to do like a carbon tear.
Yeah, nice.
It doesn't look fantastic just by itself. You know, given the fact as well that it's going to need good load of stickers, which have been ordered and coming in from a good friend J-Spec up in Queensland. It's going to do a custom sticker sheet for this. So yeah, and you can see here the camera's probably, the resolution's just not there, but you can see
how it's painting.
You can see where I put the cosmic dust down. You can see it reflecting in
it's got that orangey tone, isn't it?
That's really good, actually.
So in all the creases of the body, in all the panel lines, I've put a good amount of cosmic dust down, and I used pretty much that whole vial, that whole 60ml vial across these 2 bodies only. So yeah, and I've put that down. So that went down first, and then the black went down.
Oh, you really see it with a strong light.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks way better than this camera can. But anyway, and that's just to give it a bit of glitz and glamour, I suppose, without being too. I didn't just want to paint it fluoro pink and fluoro yellow, because I thought that would have looked a bit clashy. So we've gone for I think it's a PS33, which is like a cherry pink. So I've got the cosmic dust down, the cherry pink. I've got a little bit of orange around just to break up where it meets the pink. And then the PS27. But yeah, so, and then a bit of, you can see here the darkness around the windows. It's actually got a bit of smoke, a bit of tint on the windows to give it that slightly tinted effect rather than being just stark clear.
Yeah, the tinting looks good. It's nice and subtle.
Yeah. So you don't have to do just clear windows, obviously. I've been experimenting lately with a few of mine with color tinting. Some of the bodies, the GT and the 8 scales that I've done lately, I've had a bit of either blue or pink tinting. The one up the top there's got pink tinting. So yeah, a little bit different, but yeah, so a little bit of 9 steps painting this week in my time off. Good. So waiting for some stickers to come in, and I'm sure he'll be happy. It's definitely not my favorite thing painting. You know, probably just because of my patience level. I'm a bit more hands-on, and I don't know. But anyway, it's there.
I'm going to put this question because I guess it's a very interesting topic, actually. So SMS definitely smell. You know, I use it in the garage. I would say it's similar to a spray can. Can we comparable? I would say so. So if you have a spray boot, that would be really helpful. But I guess when you spray paint the body shell, you need to have a really big spray boot. So often enough, you can't really do that. So I guess you need to probably use a mask or something just to not breathe all that kind of dust and smell, I guess.
Yeah, the solvents aren't the best for you, but they do give a very good result.
That's right.
Not only that, you don't want to paint. You don't want to redecorate the inside of the house when the wife's not looking. You know, she gets a bit upset, I think.
Have you tried that?
When it's cosmic dust, everything's glittering.
Brilliant. So did you say you had to use the full bottle of cosmic dust?
Well, I didn't have to, but yeah, I mean, I bought it. I got it with the intent to use it. So, and I've done it on bodies before where I thought I could have used more. So I didn't leave any. Each body's got literally probably 3 to 4 coats, you know, which is enough to test my patience before any masking tape goes down.
I found it very, but when you use this kind of clear pearl effect, I've got a pearl, I think, here somewhere. Actually, here. This kind of pearl, you need to use quite a lot actually to get a good effect. So this paint is definitely very thin, and so you need to go over and over quite a bit to get that consistent effect. And then it's also hard to keep it very smooth and consistent because you don't quite see it until you start backing it with a deeper color. So really, you need to be very smooth and consistent with your airbrush action, so you kind of don't go over the same place, the same area too many times. Otherwise, once you start putting your pink, like in your case, you start having lots of spots, really. But otherwise, the effect is impressive. So brilliant.
And the other thing is when you're doing like later on the polycarbonate, so you're effectively doing it backwards. So that's the first color on, so you can't exactly see what you're painting until the end. You know, until you've put the color down and then backed it with a white or whatever you're backing it with, you can't actually see what you've painted. So. And then you can't go back and change it, obviously. So
too late, indeed.
But
indeed.
Trial and error, and it's a buggy body that's just going to get covered in mud and dirt anyway. So as long as young Emmanuel's happy, I'm happy. Well, that's it. It's something different, and it's going to have some fluoro yellow Hearns Racing stickers put on it, so it's going to look good.
I'm sure it will. Brilliant, good stuff. Very good, excellent. What do you have, Beach, there?
Oh,
do you have the tram? Do you actually have the tram?
The tram. Oh, hang on. Got over here.
So our little plugger, the tram, has had a couple of more revisions. So now is in, I think, is in 4 parts. So the roof is a separate part. We found that with this new design, it's a lot neater to assemble. It's a lot nicer, and the finish is going to be much improved. So here we go. So we've got the body without chassis and without roof.
So he's got a hat that goes on there.
And then off you go. Let me put you on the big camera. Here we go.
Okay, so just been redesigned so that it's in 2 parts now. So just allows the overall quality of the model to get crisper. And basically it's just got some contacts here from the supports, which just need to be sanded down, and being on the flat area, it's easy to sand down, and then once you get the top on it, it'll sit flat. At the moment, you can still see it's got some supports on it. Once you do that, it's got a little base. So the base goes inside here, so that'll all clip together. And then with the bogies, we'll go on. Let's see if I can hold this together because it's still sort of loose. And then after that, we've got a little plinth I'm just going to sit on. Oop, hang on. There we go. It's going to be a bit like that.
That's brilliant.
And then, of course, there's a little number which press in there as well. And then you can see on the base, maybe, if I get it on the right angle, it's got the rails that are molded into it and also some brick texture. And then once you paint it up, you can display it on the plinth, like so. So it's looking pretty good.
So
we'll be putting this together and we'll paint it up. Haven't decided what color to paint this one yet. We've already got plugger in the standard green and yellow. Might do a early version brown, or even a restaurant car maybe.
Yeah, restaurant car would be nice, definitely.
So yeah, so we've got options.
Definitely. So this is now ready again for sale. So if anyone is interested, but they've been Warwick redesigned is actually in a way that is much easier to put together. Every part that need to be sanded, just flat. So very easy to sand it, very easy to, I guess, put it together and should fit really well.
Yeah.
Much improved. as we get a bit more experience with these designs, we can actually improve previous projects. Actually,
Pretty cute.
I think we all agree on the restaurant car.
Oh, you want a restaurant car? Okay, we can do that.
We want the restaurant first of all.
Yeah. So that's Plugger.
Who remembers
good.
going to a restaurant?
Indeed. Well,
Right. What else have we got here?
while we talk about Hearns Workshop, I've got a couple of updates as well. So let me jump on this one first. So, in the last few weeks, we've been producing quite a few products and reviewing some of the old ones, as you see. So the first one here are these park benches. Oh, you get too far.
Is it a bench on a bench?
It's a bench on a bench. So these park benches are fully designed by Warwick. We have two different versions. One is a modern one. Oh, is it? No, sorry, everyone. One is a modern version, which is this one. And then the little one is actually, let me grab it. It's a bit of an older style. Let's see, you can see from the side here. Hopefully you can see.
This is the cast iron one.
The cast iron, that's right, yeah. So this is in HL scale, but both of them will be available in 35th scale and all the way down to HO and 00 scale as well.
Cool.
So two park benches. So just they're just freshly produced, and I just put a bit of a primer. So as you can see, you've got all the wooden texture, and then we also we have also the bin. There we go. Oh, little bins.
Yeah. They're those wooden plank ones, yeah?
Wooden plank ones, yeah. Here we go. And we have the metal one as well. Let's see if we can have it. It's super tiny. Let me see if I can get something to hold it. There we go.
That looks painful.
There we go. And so all of those are coming in both 35th and 72nd and HO and 00 scale. So these are perfect for your railway set. And as we're talking about that, we also have the wheelie bins. So let me grab the wheelie bins.
Classic.
Let me see if we can focus them up. Here we go. So again, they are in the larger one is 35th scale. The smaller one, this side here, is in HO scale. It's actually quite cute. We had them before, and we did some revisions, had a bit more detail. I just briefly painted them, the right lead and the body. I haven't done the wheels yet, but again, it'll be quite nice for your layout. This has been very nice for all different kind of dioramas. Here we go. This is 35th scale.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool. Here we go. What else do we have? The post box. Actually, we've seen this before, but I've just been painting one this morning.
Yeah, nice.
So they've been really popular, actually, the letter boxes. And what else do I have here? One more thing. Let me see, I lost it. Warwick will have to explain what these are, but these are some hinges for Land Rovers, for the rear door of the Land Rover Defender. So this is 110 scale, and we have them also down in 35th scale, from memory, even smaller.
So is that an accessory for your crawler, say, Nick?
That is going to be an accessory for my crawler. So you, as you can see, got a tabs here that you can just drill the body and stick and put it in. But they can be used also for 35th scale or 24 scale cars as well. So
yeah, funky.
And absolutely. So that's these are very tiny. Here we go. You can probably won't be able to see it, but this is very, very small. This I think is in 35th scale. I guess this one on 24th scale. Yeah, very tiny. All right. So work is confirming 1/10, 1/16, and 1/24 scale. Here we go. And yes, the quality of painting was me. Obviously.
All right.
Cool. What else do we have? I think there's quite a lot of stuff actually that we published for Hearns Workshop, but these are just a few of the samples that I have here tonight, actually. Yeah. So we've got a question actually.
Where's Tom gone?
I think the
Maybe
storm.
he's hidden away from the storm.
Yes. I think we lost him for tonight.
There hasn't been another earthquake, has there?
Hopefully not.
No.
No. It was just me powering up the bullet. Don't worry.
Indeed. Jason is asking if you have some 24 scale brick walls. Not really, but for that kind of stuff, you can use the evergreen cards from memory. I think the evergreen and also the wheels, they produce some specific 24 scale type kind of texture, really, cards that you can use for that purpose.
Yeah.
What else?
There's a question about photo etch.
I have one on a 1 to 200. Photo etch parts, yes.
Yes. Yeah, photo etch takes a bit of practice to get used to photo etch, and particularly, I guess, on that huge 1/200 scale ship. I mean, they're massive. We're talking over a meter long, those things. And if you're talking about, there's going to be all the railing as well as all the smaller parts. You just have to be very, very careful when you hold things. We got these new God hand tools, which are very fine pliers. They call them bending pliers, but they got there's one which is really pointy, which is like a needle nose. That is actually more secure than just using tweezers on photo etch. So you use that for holding as well. And you can also use it for bending. So that's probably going to be handy, particularly when you're building with photo etch, which has got so many different sizes. And then you just have to be careful with the glue. Make sure it's like a medium type super glue. So it's got a little bit of give. And then the mag visors definitely help when you do stuff like that. So you know where you're going.
Must have, yes.
That takes a lot of practice.
Warwick is also suggesting that for the brick wall, we have the green stuff rollers, I think. That's a very good advice. Is it?
Yeah, that might be about right. Yeah, you have to check to see what sort of size that you're looking for.
Definitely. So that's a good option. Cool. Good. So what else do we have? Do you have anything else there, Bij?
I've got all sorts of things.
What have you
talking
got?
about green stuff. Let's see.
I like the T-shirt that you're wearing tonight.
The what?
Your T-shirt.
Oh, you like that? It's a bit of a relic.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist anymore, Yatabi Arena. Does anyone know what Yatabi Arena is? Crickets?
Crickets again. Right as the wheels, they actually run on the Yatabi Arena. So the wheels that I gave you last week, they have been on the Yatabi Arena, and then you put them on the little bullet, hey?
They're in my pillowcase, Nick.
Oh, are they? Oh, that's cool.
I sleep on them every night.
They're comfier here.
That's right. Not only are they comfy, I'm trying to dream of, one day going and saying hi.
That's it. Oh.
I got these things.
What have you got?
These are little resin fish. So these are things that you can use for your dioramas. You can glue those onto a ground surface, and then you can pour water effects over the top of them, and you'll have them embedded in water, so it looks like they're swimming around. And my favorite one is this little one in the middle here, this little round one. It's actually a little puffer fish.
What's his name?
Bruce.
Bruce
the puffer fish. Yeah, it's good. You got all these different sizes. You can make a little bowl full of them. Make a little goldfish-looking diorama. That would be cool. So apart from that, we've got these other accessories too. So these are probably good just for adding interest onto your diorama. Oh. Got a bunch of rubbish bags. This one's pretty funny. That one's all sort of cracked open.
Oh, you don't want that.
A cracked open rubbish bin. You don't like that? And then there's some little ones. So you have those.
Is that a box with a
box?
That's cool, actually.
Like post-apocalyptic dioramas are pretty popular now, so these will work really well with that. These will work really well with the 35th scale wheelie bin too.
That's it.
And then finally, this is quite interesting. I really like these. These are
teddy bears.
Okay, so they're the big ones. You got little ones too.
Are these to a
Could go wrong
specific
with a good
scale
teddy
or
bear.
just random? Are they
Sort
to
of
a
different
specific
sizes.
scale?
So something like this, that'll probably be, that could work for 35th to 24 scale, I reckon. And these are a bit bigger. So if it was 35th scale, that'll be a massive bear. Or 24 scale, you can have those sitting around inside a car. That would look funny. You see how they've got different poses. There's this one which is just hanging around, so you can have someone holding that one. And that's on its side. So there's 3 interesting things from Green Stuff World to increase the interest onto your model. And what else have I got? I guess the only other thing I've got is I've got some kits which we're going to show you a bit later. Or do you want to see them now?
Oh, go on.
Actually, while you're
Okay.
talking about water, I
Yeah.
have been experimenting with this water, with this scale 75 water.
Oh, that's the stuff.
That's the stuff,
You
isn't
can
it?
use that to embed this if you wanted to. The little
That's
fishies.
right.
Yep.
So I haven't done much work with it yet, but it's quite impressive. I don't know whether on camera you'll be able to see, but I just tried to put some on the corner of this. Let me see if it's probably hard to see. There's a little bit of water. Actually, there's a big puddle in the middle here. Let me see if it's zoom in.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a bit of green and there is a puddle.
Yeah.
And you should be able to see it's quite shiny actually. It's really impressive material, and it dries extremely clear, and it gives that kind of water effect, standing water as well.
It's really easy to use because it's water based and it doesn't have a strong smell to it. And because it's sort of thin, not like a pouring resin, it self levels. So if you had little indentations in a little diorama base, you just pour it. You just have to be careful not to pour it more than 3 mil at a time. Because what will happen is if it's too much, it takes too long to dry and it starts pulling up as it's shrinking. So you do 3 mil, 3 mil, 3 mil if you want it really deep. And then that'll dry by itself as it all evaporates.
Water-based water.
Also water-based water. That's right. It is a water-based water. How good's that?
It's brilliant.
Who would have
Reinvent
thought?
the water.
Yep.
Indeed.
So yeah. So what else we got here? Okay. Let's have a look at some kits, eh? All right. I picked these because I don't think I was showing these before.
Where's Koo? I'm concerned that Koo's not on, mate.
Oh, do you want it? I can grab it. Should probably run
Well,
off.
I don't know. You're not hiding her, are you? She's okay?
No. I had to readjust my camera action for this
Okay.
one. All right. So these are the Toon type kits. All right. So we got this one by me. So that's a U-boat from World War II, and then we've got this one by Fujimi. So this is a little frigate type thing from Japanese Navy on World War II. The great thing about these is they're sort of designed as beginner type kits. So they don't need glue, they're just pressed together. So I'll give you a close look at this one. It's pretty simple, there's not a lot of parts. And then let's see. I don't know if you can really see it, it's all pretty well packed in there. So you've got 2 halves of the, just behind there, of the U-boat. You see how it's got the big chunky locators. So that's how it just sort of presses together. So that's a U-boat. When we move on to the frigate, the frigate's actually got more parts in it. It's a little bit more complicated. So this basically, see how it's sort of, it's a bit chubby. And then there's the deck. And this one's got a whole lot more bits. It's actually got little lifeboats on it as well. Keep coming. So if you want a little bit more complicated build, then this is the one to go for. But it still just all presses together. You see the gun turrets there, they're really nicely molded.
What glue would you use for that, Beach?
If you wanted to glue it, then you would just use regular plastic cement. That's all you need. They're really nice. They keep it sort of easy too. So it comes with stickers. They're not water slide decals. So a bit like a Bandai Gundam type kit. So perfect for kids. And then there's a little name plaque there as well. So yeah, so they're the kits I've got. So these Toon ones, there's a whole heap of different kinds you can get. It's tanks. What is it?
Tanks,
Tanks,
yeah.
planes,
yeah.
and ships. Really good.
Good. Well, I think Andy was at Yatabi Arena in year 2000 for the World.
Yes.
So Yatabi Arena was, well, I guess it's still in the same location, but was the home track of Yakima, the Yakima kind of headquarters, I guess. Shall we call it that way?
Yeah. So it's got a new name now. I think it's called Scuba Arena, because that's the actual town it's in.
Right. So, in any case, I think was that 3 years ago, Beach? 3, 4, must be almost
3
4
years
now.
ago now.
3 or 4 years ago, we went to Japan, and we obviously went to visit Yatabi Arena. We've been crashing around the Yokohama, and I passed my wheels to Brett so he can play with his bullet on spiky wheels in his backyard.
Yep.
Yep.
How is the bullet?
Those wheels?
Oh, don't get me started on the bullet. We could do an hour just on how much I love the bullet.
Well, so the bullet, we receive a picture of the bullet every day this week while Brett was at home. At least once a day, normally one in the morning, one in the afternoon too.
That's right. So this week's bullet adventures, and for those that know, I even put something on Facebook, but I didn't really get much back. But I wasn't really concentrating much. I actually did something that we used to do in the olden days. Can anybody see that fine red wire there?
How good is that?
So that is actually the positive lead off of the servo. So I've taken the positive lead off of the servo, which would have usually come to here. There would have been a red, white, and black into the receiver here, or the two-in-one. And I've taken that out and I've put that straight to the battery. So I've indeed increased the voltage of the poor little servo to probably close to melting point.
Instant power.
Instant power to the servo. And it has improved this buggy, this little ready-to-run buggy, 100%. Because it did have a little bit of delay in the steering when you were like in a confined space or trying to do a quick change of direction under full load. A combination of the nickel metal hydride, probably the fact that I changed the pinion to a much bigger pinion. And then also the fact that the BEC in the speed controller was probably not up to the task of providing positive steering at a really low speed and high throttle application. But I'm happy to say that it's been a successful modification. It's very neat and it has really improved the buggy tenfold. So it's probably had another 4 or 5 batteries since that modification's been performed, and no smoke has come out of the servo.
That's excellent. That's an easy,
That's very easy fix, actually.
It is a very easy fix, and it's quite a little impressive servo. But that would very much limit it. I wouldn't go and put a LiPo in this now, because when we go LiPo voltage, all of a sudden we're going to go up to 8.2 volts, not 7.4. And I believe that will probably bring the steering servo life down to a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
But given the fact that we're not going to put LiPos in this, we're going to run this with nickel metal hydride. And in fact, I want to enter it at a club race as soon as we can and see what it can do, see if we can get through a day and have some fun with this little 540.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so we've done I did a bit of an unboxing, I think this week, was it, guys?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it went live this week,
so.
Yeah. And I've done a couple of other videos since then on it. So, yeah, watch the progress. But for $220 odd, yeah, it's an impressive little buggy. You know,
it's good to be able to have an introductory type buggy just for anyone to start racing, because there hasn't been one for a while. And sometimes it's a bit of an ask to say, what do you need to start racing? You say, you need $1,000 plus.
Yeah,
but if you can get something like that.
That's it. I sort of feel like sometimes embarrassed when people come in and say, we want to try racing. What do we do? And then you sort of got to look at them with a straight face and say, look, if you've come into this with nothing, you want to go to a club race with little Johnny, it's like $2,500. And we all know that that's realistic, and that's the running cost, and that's the competition. But for somebody just to try it or see if it's for them, it's a really big ask.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this little buggy can sort of fill that niche. And I know it's not going to be competitive against the pro buggies, we'll call them. But if it gets people to put their toe in the water and see if racing RC's for them, then it's a start. It's something, you know.
And I guess the design's got all the fundamentals there.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's probably good enough to get you through a good race day without major breakages or whatsoever. The servo has been going for quite a few batteries because in the ready-to-run cars, often enough the servo is probably the biggest letdown. But I guess you also put high voltage and it's still going pretty strong. So you know that with
all the tires, everything on this car is completely stock. You know, it's still got the Tamiya connectors, and which is probably one of the first things that I changed. But it's still got the Tamiya connectors. It's got bullet connectors on the motor, and I've gone up 6 teeth on the pinion. So it came with a 23 tooth. I think it was 8.8 to 1. I've gone up to a 29 tooth on this, which is the 48 pitch RMX pinion off the shelf, and it's come down to about 7 to 1. Which is much closer where it needs to be if it's going to hit the racetrack. You know, realistically, it needs to be down towards the 6 to 1. But with all stock running gear, it's pulling 7 to 1, no worries. Like I said, and I haven't gone easy on it. You know, I haven't gone out trying to break it, but it's been wet, dry, you know, long grass, short grass, cartwheeled, driven by, you know, an 11-year-old. It's hit a tree. It's going to the Agapanthers, you name it, you know.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Well.
So, and it's times like that where, you know, like, you know, relatively speaking, like cheap things can bring you joy and make you relive. Like I said to Beej or the whole shop a couple of weeks ago, like, how good does a 540 smell? Like, it's something that, you know, just took me back to when I started racing. I started racing with a sealed can 540, a brushed motor, and that's the smell of a hot 540 is very unique.
True that.
Memories.
I agree.
Enough walk down memory lane. Let's get into something more modern.
I've got this.
Oh, go on.
I was faster. All right, let me put my screen.
Go.
What is this? Who knows what is this? This is perfect for this time where we are locked down, really. But this is a little 24 scale Enduro. Enduro is a brand of Team Associated. So actually, the brand is Element RC, and this is the Enduro version model, and this is a 24 scale little crawler. So let's have a quick look at it. Look at this.
Oh, it's pretty decent, isn't it? Size.
This is a good size, actually. It's similar to his larger brother in 110 scale, but the good thing of this is it's got a metal chassis, traditional rock crawling type 2-rail chassis, so really well built, metal chassis, and then obviously the linkages are in plastic because it's obviously very lightweight, but it's constructed really well. Even the front link is quite strong. Often when you find ready-to-run cars, they have a little plastic link here, and they tend to deflect when you push them. So when you're trying to turn, and will deflect. As you can see, this is really stiff actually. So really well built. Overall, little car actually. Ready-to-run comes with a little LiPo battery, which is mounted at the back here. You can see that little silver battery slot in there. USB charger. I guess we'll go for about 20 minutes or so. And what else? Brilliant. I think there's maybe even some lights. No, there's no lights in here, but there's quite a bit of wiring in here, so I'm pretty sure you can buy a light kit for this model as well. And if you watch the live show that we did with James Knight talking about his new release, was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about the boxes, and Element RC are doing these boxes, which is really cool. They're a little garage.
Yeah.
These are 24 scale bricks.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Here are your
Slow-mo.
24 scale bricks. So it's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, look at that.
Look at this. Oh, so it's really cool. You can pretty much actually it's upside down even. Well, you can undo the box and turn it inside out, and isn't it? You turn it inside out, and then you can build a garage, which is really fantastic idea. You can take some really cool photos of your little crawler, and have the fun. So this is a 24 scale crawler from Elemental C, and it's called Enduro.
Cool.
Must have. You can play your desk if you are in, whenever will be at work again. But you can play your backyard, inside, go through Lego books, anything you find in the house. Brilliant.
Nice.
Even coming towards Christmas, I'm sure it would make a decent present for somebody, Nick.
Absolutely, I agree, definitely. And
Is that what you're getting me?
I'm gonna get you a kitten.
A kitten?
Yeah.
What, a crawling kitten? They crawl. Over rocks.
Indeed.
I just want to see two cats in the show.
Good. All right. What were you pulling out, Brett?
Another box, of course.
Another box.
Looks like the other one.
Yeah, it's
Different size, I think.
bit of a different shape. So in here, I couldn't actually fit in there what I wanted to fit in. But what I wanted to talk about was this Fly Sky radio. Now this is a GT5 Fly Sky radio, 2.4 gigahertz. I suppose it's considered one of the cheaper brands or cheaper options. I've actually fitted it on a project lately that we'll get to in a second, but it's actually really cool. And it's got a lot of features for the money that other radios just don't have and can't come near. So it's got a backlit LCD screen, which is really cool. You can see that lighting up. It's got 20 model memory, so you can have 20 different models stored on here that you can give them all individual names, characters. Again, you've got your functions like fail-safe, ABS, and then all your traditional adjustments, like your EPA, your drill rates, and your sub-trims. And for a simpleton like me, honestly, that is enough radio gear. I drive with something a bit more fancy, but I don't need to. I don't use a lot of the functions on my radio. And this, it feels really nice. It feels really good in the hand. It's got a really nice foam, really nice size. For the money, this Fly Sky GT5 is a really good option out there for your car. Something you can go racing with. Takes 4 AA's, which I've put in there.
Cheapest you could find, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really good. And it seems I think that there's options up here for 6 channels. So there's 6 different things that you can do. So you can probably pair it up and marry to your crawler and your functions there. There's a lot of buttons and switches on here that you can obviously activate and predetermine certain functions on the vehicle. I've used it in more of a 2-channel format for just a standard RC car, but it bound really well. The receiver's really nice. We'll have a look at that in a second. And it was really, I'm shocked to say that I didn't actually read the instructions. I pulled it out of the box and I started using it, and it was quite intuitive for somebody who's never had a Fly Sky before in my life. And that's really good because some radios, I'm sure you'll attest, Nick, some of them just aren't intuitive. If you try and bind them or if you try and do anything, like you get lost straight away. And I won't name names, but Sanmar's one of them. Yeah, I agree. Whereas something like this is very familiar for me, and although I've never had one, but yeah, it was really easy and feels really nice, and I wouldn't be ashamed to take it out. Yeah, play RCs.
It's amazing the value you get out of these radios now. I mean, for the price, you're talking when were first playing with these sort of things 20 odd years ago, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
you'll end up with your basic stick radio. And what did the stick radio have? It had trims on it. That's all you had, and servo reversing.
That's right.
You know, with modern cars, and then, you know, there's so many different kinds of cars now, and then with all your channels, you could probably set them up for maybe reverse function, some of those gear changing on a Tamiya truck, maybe, and even lights.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
That's
amazing.
right. You could even probably have a winch, and you could have your gear changing or your diff locks on your crawler.
Yeah.
And it's quite a robust little unit, like I said. And given the fact that, like you said, BJ, like, you know, 20 years ago, for a radio with far less options, you were paying a lot more.
$700, yeah.
Yeah, this is like $150, $200 mark, and it is fantastic value. Really looks really hardy. I believe the receivers are quite cheap and readily available, the FlySky units, because they do quite a broad range of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worth having a look at.
Yeah,
I agree.
Do you want to see what I paired it to?
What do you paired it to?
Do you want to see what I paired it to?
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak it in. Is this a giveaway?
That is a Yakima.
It's a Yokohama. Is it?
Yellow shocks.
Is it really? This is a Yokohama of well, it's not a Yakima at all. It's a Japanese vehicle, four-wheel drive, of the mid to late 80s. BJ, I need your help here.
It'll be late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
So this is the re-release. This is called a Tamiya VQS. This is a four-wheel drive platform. I've gone ahead and we've put a few custom options on here. This is going to be a Hearns exclusive. This is going to be sold as a special edition. Is that right, Nick?
Absolutely.
Or he might just keep it and race it himself. We haven't decided yet.
Look at the three wires going to the motor.
I know. Look at those three wires. Do you know what that means?
Look at the motor, actually. Look at that motor.
Fast.
How fancy.
Exactly. So
how fancy.
The old 540 brush motor has been put back in the box because it did come with a motor and speedy, this one. And we've gone ahead and we fitted Dash's latest offering in the 21.5. We didn't want to be stupid because these speed controllers does actually have a sensor port in it. The TBL02E or whatever it's called. And these come in pretty much 90% of Tamiya vehicles. And yeah, you can see it's still got the Tamiya plug on there, the white plug. We've got the Dash 21.5. We've got the FlySky. You can see how neat that little receiver is. It's a nice, neat little receiver. And we've done a few things, like we've put a nice quality highest 550T servo in there, so we haven't cheapskated on the servo. We've put some alloy servo bushes in there to cope with this torque instead of the little crappy rubber bushes on the rubber in the self-tap screws. And we've put a Aromax, a Dash servo horn on there. Billet alloy.
Bit of bling.
Bit of bling. So, and with the tyre combination on this, it's pretty much ready for the VIX.
It is actually.
If and when that will be, this car is definitely a contender. So you can see that it's four-wheel drive, it's mid-mount, and it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but here's another one here. Tristan's car that Aaron has lent us is another holiday project, which is all done and ready.
Wow.
If we see, so this is, I call it this is the YZ4 SF1. So this is the second last generation, which is probably 95% of the current YZ4 SF2. There's a few geometry changes and bits and pieces, but layout and fundamentally is the same car. So if we're going to put these two side by side, you can see, in fact, how they are the same. They have a mid-mount motor, four-wheel drive. They have the battery offset, very similar dimensionally.
Yeah.
And yeah. So obviously this one, the Tamiya's got the plastic tub chassis, whereas the Yokohama's got a billet alloy chassis with a bit of a kick up in it, and it's got the plastic protectors on the side. The Tamiya here is all plastic construction. It's got a trailing.
The evolution.
Yeah, it's got a semi-trailing arm suspension.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it does have sway bars.
Front and rear, actually. Yeah.
Front and rear. And people may scoff at the plastic shocks, but in reality, plastic shocks are pretty good in that they're quite functional. They have the same clearances and machining as an alloy shock. They're just a little bit, I suppose, weaker and a little bit more inconsistent to the wearing, in that they will wear a little bit the piston and the body, whereas a normal shock will just wear the body and the piston and the coating. But it's got machined alloy hubs on the VQS. It's got lovely, what are we calling that, Nick?
It's called bling.
I think it was pearl, actually. I think it was this one.
What pearl have we got there? So it was an SMS pearl. It was a color shift pearl.
I'm pretty sure they use a pearl, yeah.
So this car was 95% built by Nick.
And has to be unbuilt.
I just finished it off this week with putting the electrics in it, or wiring the electrics up, and binding it up to the new radio. So it has been powered up. It did actually calibrate quite easily. I was a little bit shocked because these speed controllers are not the easiest to calibrate, but it did actually work really well with the Fly Sky radio. And I haven't zipped it around the house yet because I'm trying to keep it new, but yeah, really happy with the way it came up. And that is the Tamiya VQS. I suppose it just has to go to the Hearns workshop, back to the Hearns paint shop, and get painted up and something a little bit more fitting than just a black shell.
Well, it's factory finish, isn't it?
That is. Maybe we could even get some wheels on there. I mean, we've got the VQS wheels here, which are looking pretty fine.
No, custom painted.
Custom painted, ready to go. So we'll see which way. It's not finished, but it's close.
Very soon. Oh, what have you got there, Beach?
What have I got here? I got something that I've been working on. I guess most people are probably aware of this thing here, which is this thing. So this is the Australian M113 I've been working on for a little while. You've probably seen it on a few of the live so far.
Is that Bruce?
Bruce? Well, that can be Bruce too if you want.
Well, didn't you call it something?
So I've got this set as well because I decided to put some Aussie soldiers on it. These aren't Aussies, obviously. These are Americans. But I'm going to be converting these into Aussies because this kit actually comes with the Australian weaponry. So you see there's the SLRs across the top, which the Aussies used. And there's also the F1 submachine gun, which is there.
So they're trans
guns there too, but they're a bit early for this particular personnel carrier. And I've already started converting it, the figures, and
wow.
So I've got a driver figure there, and then I've got the commander figure who's actually trying to feed a pigeon. Okay, so there's set of pigeons.
Pigeon last week. Yep.
Yeah. So just to give it a bit of interest, so there's a pigeon on the front that's just come along because its mate's getting the feed. And so basically with the commander figure, that's just been chopped at its various points to get him into a seating pose. I've chopped the arms as well to get the right look, and also the neck to get the head direction. And then I've done the same thing for the driver as well. So these are what they call multi-pose figures. So you get them like this. So that was actually two pieces. So the legs have been glued together at the waist. And then you've got the torso. So let's see if I can get my fingers out of the way there. So basically you can move these around and adjust them into different poses. So that's what I'm doing here, just modifying it to make it look a bit more interesting. Oh, losing bits.
Where we lost?
Dropped the wheel. It happens.
Already crashed.
Yeah. So currently I'm just working on the commander figure. I've just taken off all the webbing equipment, so all the straps, because these guys didn't have all the webbing gear. They didn't have to carry all that stuff around. And so I'll be re-sculpting all those bits with good old green stuff.
Is that one with the gap?
This one?
Does it have a
Yeah,
gap?
it's got a gap.
Oh.
Look at that. It's got a gap.
Must have. It's the only one available now.
You like the ones with a gap, don't you?
Wow.
So basically, you just got to cut evenly across the side here. You'll notice that the blue section is thinner, and then the yellow section is a bit wider. So the proportion is a little bit more of the yellow. Huh?
I never noticed that.
Oh, didn't you? Yeah, it's a little bit thicker. So you just got to cut it straight across. And when you mix it together, it'll turn green. And once it's a even color, it's ready to use. So this is a small packet. That's probably all I'll need for the moment, but you can get really big packets too. So if you sculpt.
How many inches have you got there, Beach?
How many inches have I got?
6 inches. Must be 6.
I got 6. So, yeah. So all I've been doing, this is the other thing I've been using too. I've been playing around with some guide hand tools.
Oh.
So these are actually called the spin blades. The idea is you're meant to drill a basic size hole. So let's see, 2 mil. And then to get a nice flat hole, you put this in there and it scrapes away the sides. But I've been using it as a chisel. So this is what I've been using for scraping off all the straps off the figure. Really, really sharp.
Could you use that for panel lines too, Beige?
Panel lines, not so much with these. Panel lines, other shape tools like a pointed tool works better. But using this is you're able to sit it within your hand like so, and then actually just push it across. And it's a lot easier to take off certain things than a knife. I mean, a knife does most things, but this just helps. But then also, being able to choose different widths is handy too. Yeah. That's what I've been playing with. I can't
believe how sharp they are.
Oh, they're mega sharp. You got to be careful. Yeah. Like a knife. You can imagine that these will stay sharp longer.
I use those when I fitted some arms onto the YZF.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, they're good, aren't they?
Mm.
So, yeah. So what am I calling this again?
Sure.
Am I calling this Bruce?
Everything's Bruce.
Oh, everything's Bruce. So Bruce the APC. And Bruce the pufferfish.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you going to put the pufferfish on the Bruce?
Well, pufferfish. Where can I put a pufferfish here? I don't know. I have to put a bowl.
Fish out of the water.
You can put him between 2 bits of bread, and he could be eating him.
Well, yeah.
On the Vegemite sandwich.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can see anything in there. Maybe not.
Well, watch out. Bruce is going to fall over.
No, maybe not. No, actually, he's held on with some really good blue tack. Okay.
Yeah, also the pigeons are called Bruce now. There we go.
Bruce the pigeon. Bruce 1, Bruce 2.
I should get you some of our 9 steps cleaning putty.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Mm.
Yeah, well, so that's where it's coming along.
That's good. Now, I have a quick question from Shane here in relation to the God end pliers for bending the photo edge. I think the one with the green handle, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're called the all-purpose bending pliers.
Let me see if I can find a link.
Yeah.
Do they have a green handle?
They do. They've got quite a bright green handle.
There we go. I've got it.
Oh, you found it? Okay, good stuff.
Yeah. There's obviously 3 versions. I'm going to pop one here. Here we go. Shane. So it's coming up now. So yeah, so there's 3 different ones, but the name is quite similar, really. So is that Bruce?
That's Bruce. You must be surprised. That's why he's all round.
Oh, he's puffed up. He's had his second jab.
He's at the 3rd already here.
Third jab. What a lovely weekend.
Indeed. Indeed. Very good. Very good, very good. What else do we have? I'm trying to find a couple of other links. This is a good one too. I'll pop it up now. Good, here we go. One more link. And there's a 3rd one. I can't find it yet. Oh, it's the blue stuff.
What's happening with the blue stuff?
Well, the blue stuff, I'm going to be eventually using it for getting so these guys here, he's got the collars that I want. So rather than sculpting collars, I'm going to use blue stuff to copy the collars and push green stuff into it and then trim them off. And I'm going to put the collars onto the commander and the other and the driver. Because at the moment,
oh wow,
these guys actually look like they're wearing t-shirts. So I'm going to put collars on them and the pockets on their shirts. So pockets on the shirts, they're going to be easy enough to do. I just scrub them in and add some green stuff. But the collars can take a bit of sculpting. So if I can copy the ones off the other one, I'll push them out while it's still soft. And I'll do the collars on these 2 guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
You make it sound so easy, BJ.
Hey? Well, I already used the blue stuff on this guy's clear leg.
Wait, let me put it back. Here's my favorite. It was really funny when he came along with the blue stuff around his leg.
Yeah.
That's not blue stuff, it's clear stuff.
Well, it started off with blue stuff, and I put the clear stuff in the blue stuff, and I took the blue stuff off, and it ended up being clear stuff.
And then he used the green stuff to fill the gap.
Yeah. So all this sort of stuff, you never will really think there would be a purpose for it, but I just got the 4-pack here, and I pretty much only use 1 stick because the other stick I gave to Warwick. So I've got 3 sticks. I only used 1 so far. It's really handy for all sorts of things.
Use it several times, isn't it?
It's really good.
Yeah. Brilliant. What else? I think we are mostly done. Have you got something else, Brett?
No, my box is empty, flat, and deflated.
That's it.
Hopefully going to go for a play date tomorrow.
Play date?
Do some playing in a local community
yes.
bicycle track.
I'm going to play with this tomorrow.
Whoa! You got a new one?
There's a spare wheel.
That's brand new.
It's brand new because I haven't used it yet. Max is so good that doesn't. Well, actually, you repaired that wheel. Actually, Joe repaired this wheel several times.
Master Joe repaired the wheel for you.
Yeah. And since then, had a few more repairs, but it's still going very strong. So
fantastic.
I took this with me. Sooner or later, it will explode. So I've got a spare wheel.
You're going to go out and play with the X-Max?
I think the X-Max is going to have a bit of a run tomorrow. Hopefully, there's no rain, but X-Max should be going out. I hear there may be a slash coming along too, so a bit of fun nearby here, and a bit of rock roller maybe. Very good. Cool. Well, let's see if there is any more questions here. Otherwise, actually, this is funny. Tony suggests that we can turn the APV into an aquarium, so you can put the fishes in, and we can fill it. We can fill it with this.
I need the whole bottle of that, wouldn't I?
Probably need more than 1 bottle.
During monsoon.
It's bigger than my head. It is actually. Depending from which perspective. Cool. All right, everyone. So enjoy the grand final tomorrow. So long weekend here in Melbourne.
Mhm.
And we're going to see everyone again next Friday night, I guess. So follow us throughout the week. We got videos going out still every day.
Yeah.
What was that?
I said it's a definite that we'll be doing the Friday night thing again.
I think so. So definitely. And hopefully next Friday, we're going to see the holiday buggy.
Wow.
Talking about doggies. The
Is
cat
Q
arrived.
alive?
She's sleepy.
Is Q moving?
Sleeping.
I think she's
Sleeping
sleeping.
Beauty. Brilliant. Cool.
Fantastic.
And with this one, we're gonna wish everyone a good weekend and a good night, and looking forward to see everyone next Friday night.
No worries.
Thanks for watching,
Yeah,
guys.
it's been good.
It's been a good show.
Bye bye. Thank you.
See you
Thank
guys
you.
later. Bye.
Bye-bye.